Guys, and welcome back to another fun tutorial video. And in this particular video we are going to look at how to build a food ordering application. Now this application is going to be a multi-vendor application where you, as the administrator of the application, is running everything that has to be done with the application, and others with restaurants can sign up, create an account, and sell their products just as you see on this particular window. So what will we do in this particular tutorial? So we are going to learn how to set up the entire application from the ground up. We'll order our hosting, and then I'll show you how to set up the application from your dashboard or from your administrative dashboard. So this is just a demo of the home page or the user interface that your users are going to see. They may not see the same menu because everyone will have their own menu, but for the demo purposes, these are just random images that were set up. On the home page, as you can see, the different categories on the web page. We have the restaurants. Individuals will set up these restaurants, and these restaurants will have their own menus. Okay, so as you can see how much time it takes for each particular menu, and then you just have the homepage categorized into featured restaurant, latest restaurants, and then super deals. There's a ton more. Now if you run this application, you are going to be the one kind of guiding how your restaurant owners behave on this particular application. Let's just take a quick walkthrough on the application. So as the administrator, your users can sign up for an account as a restaurant and then list their menus. And then also, then we can have users who will sign up and make purchases on this particular order. Now, the way this works is you are not going to be processing the order on behalf of the restaurant. So once the user orders, the restaurant will process the order and then send that particular menu to the individual, and all you have to do as the administrator is to make the payment. Okay, so you pay out to that particular restaurant, and then that's how you go. Okay, so users will just register for an account. Okay, so if you go to the registration page there, you can register for an account. They will sign up for an account, and then they'll be able. Now you can see that the application also comes with some authentication providers using Google, Facebook, or with LinkedIn. Okay, so you can also set up that as an option where users can log in directly without signing up with their username, password, or just going through all these processes. Okay, they agree to your terms of service. When you go to the administrative dashboard, you see how you can set up all these features. And once they have an account, they can basically just sign in, and then they are good to go. Okay, so I'll go through the admin dashboard as well as how your users interface will look like, and then also as a restaurant you also have an interface. Okay, so yeah, we'll just walk you through the entire web page. So this is the restaurant. You have your about section. If you want to write blog posts too as well, you can have blog posts written about the menus or about your restaurant application. Okay, and this is the contact window. So if your users want to contact you for some reason or the other, you can just go ahead and enter their information here and submit the form, and then you should get that on your end, and then you can respond to them. Okay, now these are a list of countries. You can also customize this to whatever you want from the admin dashboard. Okay, yes, so that's it for the user interface as far as it's concerned. And one thing to note is this entire user interface is customizable. Okay, now this is the food lab. It's a script file. You can check out the file on codecania.com, and or you use the link in the description to purchase the script file, and then we'll go through the installation process until the application is live on your domain. Okay, so I've made past videos where I'm using my domain learnwithdave.xyz, and so you are going to be following this tutorial and using your personal domain after you have ordered your hosting to put this application live. Okay, and then once that is done, I'll walk you through how to customize all the logos, the colors, and even the content of the web page. Okay, so with that said, we will go into the other parts of the video. All right, so before we get into the rest and start going through the installation process, let me give you a quick walkthrough of the dashboard. This is the admin dashboard. So on the admin dashboard, you'll be able to see your total users, active users, emails that are not verified, and then the total number of restaurants as well as those that are active. So this is just a quick summary of the activities that are going on the application. Okay, so you can see all your users deposits, you can see the restaurants that have made withdrawals and the amount that they've withdraw. You can see all the categories, and even right here you can see in your users login history the browsers that they are logging into the application with. Okay, yes, now you have the locations. These are locations that you can enter, and then basically the restaurants and their locations on the application. Okay, so now if we log into your admin dashboard, it definitely will be empty. This is a demo version, but you can see we have different meals here, and then when we get into customizing your particular application, you will see that you can also add yours. Okay, now so when you sign in for your dashboard, your foods will be empty because you haven't added. You can go through your orders, manage your users, active users, and all users. You can also manage your restaurant, so you see those that are active and those that are not active. You can, as you can see right here. Okay, and then you can see the deposits. If you can also see the withdrawal. So your admin area is going to provide you with the information that you basically need to run the application fully. Okay, now you can also look at your restaurant report, as in the transaction history, login history, and there's just a ton more, and we will go through them once we get to the admin area, so we wouldn't be going through them entirely. But one important thing is system settings. Okay, so with system setting, as the administrator, is basically just a click to customizing the application. As you can see, the title of the website, your currency, the site base color, and all of that. Okay, if you return, you can basically do this general settings. That's what we just looked at. You can go through your system configurations, payment gateways, SEO configurations, and then you can manage the individual pages. So if there are pages you don't want them showing on the user interface, you can basically remove them and all of that. As you can see, we have homepage, blog, contact, and a lot more. Okay, yes, so yeah, this is like the administrative area that you are going to see once the application is set up. I'll also go through your users admin or your users login interface, and as well as the restaurants interface. All right, so I want to show you how your restaurant owners dashboard would look like. Okay, for your restaurant owners, this is how their dashboard will look like. So they also have a summary of all the activities that have happened on their restaurant. Now, bear in mind that on this particular application, you have several restaurants, and the way people interact with other restaurants or the restaurants will differ from restaurant to restaurant. Okay, so for this particular restaurant, he has 4 foods, 2 categories, and he currently has 1 pending order. Okay, and his balance is $232. Okay, now he can manage his food. So if you go to manage food, he can add new food. So this is how your users or your restaurant owners will add their own food items onto the page that they will sell. So all they have to do is to add a name. Okay, and then they also can check out the orders. So if there are orders that are still pending that they need to fulfill, they can go ahead and view the details of that particular order and proceed with fulfilling the order. Okay, and then delivered orders. So for all the orders that they process, they can also see it. If they've canceled some other orders, they will have all that information. Okay, now they also have information about withdrawals. Now for withdrawals, the administrator will confirm the withdrawals and then process. And so your restaurant owners can also see their withdrawals. Okay, now as you can see on this window is a KYC form, which is a know your customer forms that your users will have to go through, because for restaurant owners, they need to be verified on the end of know your customer form. They can also view all the transactions that have occurred on their side of the restaurant. Okay, there's also the option of the 2-factor authentication. So you learn how to set up these keys and then use them for your customers to be able to verify. Okay, so he or she can also set up 2-factor authentication on his or her restaurant. So now what we're going to do is how a user would log in onto the application. Okay, so regular users who are going to be ordering food, how they will navigate the platform or the homepage right here. So we've gone through the restaurant owner's dashboard. Next, what I want to show you is how the restaurant owner's dashboard will look like on the application itself. Okay, so once a restaurant owner logs into this user interface, what they will see. Now, obviously, they will have access to all the meals that have been set up on the page as well. But what is important is when they come to their profile and go to their dashboard, okay, now they have access to this summary right here. So they will also have access to all the foods or orders that are here, those that are pending. But more importantly, they have access to this URL that they can share on their social media, marketing their product. Okay, so you are basically the provider, and then they'll have a link that they can share so that users who do not have access or have never heard of his or her restaurant can use that to share with their colleagues or their friends, and then they can come in here and make a purchase. Okay, now once they also go, they can specifically view orders. Okay, so as you can see, this person does not have any orders at the time. Okay, so if you go back to the home page, it is just the regular or user interface that they will have access to. They can have access to the restaurant and the rest of the page, but just by default, the fact that they are logged in, they have access to more information about the restaurant than others who are just viewing the page and um, have no access to the restaurant dashboard. Okay, but anytime they want to also place an order, they also have access to that feature because they are logged in. So they can also select a menu just like any other user and proceed to check out if they want to purchase that particular menu. Okay, as you can see, this is the order details page, and they can go through and select their payment method and go ahead and check out. Now, when it comes to payment method, as the administrator of the application, you can have or you can set up multiple payment gateways that are available for these restaurant owners to use. Okay, you can also set up manual payment methods like mobile money or bank transfer, where you just add some instructions on how they can carry out the transactions. Okay, yes, so that is it for the user interface with regard to the dashboard for the restaurant administrator or the multi-vendor restaurant administrator, and that of the restaurant's owners dashboard, and then what they have on the user interface anytime they log in. Okay, so one thing we are going to look at next is just go ahead and purchase our hosting. So we'll look at how to purchase domain name and hosting, and the next thing we'll do is how to move all these resources or that the script file onto our server and have our application showing live on our own domain. Okay, so once you have your script, the next thing we want to do is to look at purchasing hosting for our application. Okay, so the hosting provider I'm using in this particular video is called Makigo Host. They have high-speed web hosting and domain name services. This is Makigo Host, and that's their homepage, so you can read through Makigo Host homepage to see most of the services they provide. Okay, and once you've gone through that, I want to show you how we can purchase our hosting and domain. Okay, so on their navigation, you head to hosting services, and then from there you can go straight to shared hosting with cPanel. Okay, so as you can see, they also provide a reseller hosting plan with cPanel. They have a shared hosting with CyberPanel that is coming soon as well. So let's just go ahead and go to the shared hosting with cPanel. Once that is done, you can see you have unlimited database FTP accounts and a 99% uptime guarantee. Okay, so if you are purchasing hosting and domain, you want to get it from a service provider that is up most of the time. You don't want your website to be down most of the time and users cannot access it. Okay, so that's why I suggest you go to through Makigo Host. I'll leave a link in the description that you can go ahead and purchase your hosting. Now, the next thing we want to do is to scroll to the bottom where they have all of their services. So I have our hosting services, hosting features and services. You can scroll more down, and then we have their hosting plan. Okay, so as you can see, we have They have a $2.99 per month Go Basic plan. That's exactly what we are going to use. But your choice of the plan will depend on the requirements of your application. Okay, so as you can see, there are different services that they provide based of the plan that you choose. Okay, so as if you check the storage, they have 20 GB SSD storage for those who go with the 2.99 per month, and that of 50 GB storage for those of them that go for the 4.99 per month. Okay, so for this particular video, I'm just going to go ahead and order the Go Basic plan. So click on order now, and once you select the order now, you'll be sent to a billing page. Okay, so basically you can see the particular services that you are choosing. Make sure you select a billing cycle to 1 year. Okay, so you get to save a few dollars from that. Okay, so once you select the 1 year plan, you saved the 8.33% of the amount you would have paid. Okay, now if you want Makigo Host to do all of the Google Analytics integration for you, you can select that they offer at $15. And if you want them to index your site on Google too as well, they charge $15 for that. Okay, now I have a coupon code for Makigo Host. It's that you can add for a discount. So let's just go to this page. On your order summary, you have changed your discount code. Okay, so click on that and put in your discount code. Okay, so I have div25 and submit. All right, so with that you get a 25% discount, and that saves you a few dollars. Okay, now your total checkout fee is at 54.67 US dollars. Okay, now depending on your budget, you want to either enable or disable these services. Okay, because as you realize, the 54.67 US dollars is only for our hosting for 1 year, in addition to the Google Analytics and that of indexing your site on Google. Okay, so if you can do all of this, you don't need to add them. But if you want them to help you do all of that too as well, you can just add them and then check out. Okay, so once we have added our discount code and applied, go ahead and click on continue. Okay, so now we are redirected to a page where we are supposed to enter our domain. Okay, so this will, if you already own a domain from another provider, you can transfer that to Makigo Host. Or if you are working with a different provider, that's completely fine. That means you already have a cPanel account, and you can just skip the video until we are putting the script file online. Okay, but other than that, if you are ordering a domain for your particular project, you want to enter the domain name in this particular section to search. Okay, to search whether this domain is available or it's not available. So let's just search learn. I'm just going to add learntoday.com. Okay, so we have learntoday.com, and let's search whether it's available. Learntoday.com is not available. Let's just add David. Okay, so learndavidtoday.com, and then let's search. Okay, so these are just random names. Okay, so you will be entering your particular domain that you prefer based on the project that you are building. Okay, so you wouldn't just enter any random project at all, but you'll be entering a name that relates to your particular project. Okay, yes, so now we have learndavidtoday.com is available, and then we can then go ahead and add to cart. Okay, so once that is available, click on add to cart. And now they also do have other product add-ons again here on this page. Okay, so they offer domain name system management and ID protection. Okay, so if you want to protect your identity on the internet, you can pay that $5 every 1 year. Okay, so just $5 per year, or you can add the domain name system management. Again, this is based on your budget. If you don't have the budget for that, you can just go ahead and continue. So we are just going to go ahead and click on continue. And now we are at our order summary page. Okay, so now this is our plan. We have learndavidtoday.com, and that's of the add-ons that we added at 15 US dollars. Okay, so we basically would have been paying 77.89 US dollars, but now we have a discount of 8.22, making our payment at $69.67 from the coupon code that we used. Okay, so once you've gotten to this stage, we just want to enter in our details and then proceed. Okay, so enter your organization. I'm just going to put the movie, and then I'm going to put in my first name, which is David. Last name, that's my last name. I'll put in my email, which is ddarwin@gmail.com. I'll add my phone number. All right, and then my address. Put in your right address in this particular section of the video. So I'm just going to put in the city, our zip code. Let's put in 0233. Let's put in Upper East. Country is Ghana. Receive email announcement. I'm going to select no, and let's put in a password. Okay, so this will be your password to log into your account. Okay, so make sure you are entering a secure password. Okay, so now let's enter our password. Let's change this email account. Okay, so make sure you're entering the right email, because they will send some communication to this email, so you need to have access to it to be able to log into your cPanel account. Okay, so once that is done, check that you are not a robot by going through this Google this reCAPTCHA. So select bicycle and then verify. Let's agree to the terms and then place order and create account. Okay, all right, so once that is done, you have an order completion page, okay, and an email that has been sent to your account. Okay, so for that, it's just a basic process that you follow. So all you have to do is to go and log into your account or your email account and then go through the billing process. All right, so if you have completed payment and created your account, okay, so this will be the user interface that you will log in at Makigo Host. You should, however, note that this user interface is going to be very different from other hosting providers. Okay, so as you can see, I have a Go Basic plan, which is learn with Dave.xyz, that I ordered at 32.89 US dollars yearly. Okay, so now if you've completed your payment through the email account, that is fine. You just wait for a few hours for your cPanel account to be account details to be provided to you, that you can easily log in straight to your account, or wait for your domain name, which usually takes a while, about 20 hours to 24 hours, for them to make your domain name available to you for use. Okay, but your cPanel account should not take that long to be provided for you, so that you can go and log in to it. Okay, so if you have finished all of your payment and then you've logged into your account, no problem. But if you are yet to make payment, you can head to their billing and then check your invoices. Okay, you basically see all of your open invoices, paid, draft, and all of it. Okay, so if you click on the paid, you will see all of the invoices that you have paid. Okay, so as you can see, I ordered this a while ago, so my invoice has been marked paid. Okay, however, if you have not paid and you clicked on your domain, you'll be redirected to this page. Okay, so if you scroll to the bottom, you will see that you have the options to make payment. Okay, so you can make payment at makigohost.com/bitcoin or makigohost.com/flutterwaves. Okay, and once payment is made, you will be notified that you have completed payment and your invoice will be marked as paid. Okay, yes, so if you return to your dashboard, You can check all your packages. Okay, so this is your packages. And then once you are here at your package, that's kind of the domain that you ordered. You can just click on that. And if it is Makigo host, you can log directly into your cPanel account. Okay, so you can just click on log into cPanel account. And there you have it. You have your cPanel account open. Okay, so in your case, there will be a wizard because it's a new cPanel account. But I have used this cPanel account for other tutorials, so that's why you are not seeing it. Okay, so yes, this is your cPanel account and this is your hosting provider's dashboard. Okay, and once you have your cPanel account created, we are going to go ahead and then start with the installation of our script. All right, so once you are done downloading your script files, okay, make sure that you're downloading it from the right source. I'm sharing a link in the description of the video where you can find the script files. Make sure that you're buying that from Codecania. That is the source or the source of the script files that I use. With Codecania, you get a lifetime support. You're able to contact the developers. Okay, so don't go and visit any random website where someone is trying to redistribute this softwares to you at a price, and then when it gets deprecated and you are trying to contact the developers, you are not able to do so. Okay, so make sure that you are using the right resources, okay, to access the script files so that you don't have any issues in the future. Okay, so with that said, what we are going to do is to create our database. Okay, so once you have your script file available, we want to create our databases before we go on to moving the script files onto our cPanel account. Okay, so this is in no particular order. You could have installed your script and create the database at the end, but we're just going to start with creating our database and then moving our files and then completing the installation without any issue. Okay, so one thing we want to do is once you have logged into your cPanel account, okay, so as you can see, I'm on this domain called learnwithdave.xyz. Yours could be different at something.com, but this will be the interface. And if you have a new cPanel account, you have some wizard that will appear. You can just close that or click OK. Yes, so once that is done and you are on this cPanel area, just type on your search tool DB. Okay, so now once you search this DB, you have database wizard, PHP my admin, and manage my databases. Okay, so just go ahead and click on manage my databases. Okay, so once the page loads up, what we are going to do here is to create our database. Okay, so first of all, give your database a name. So in this box, just add DB name. I'm just going to call it DB name. And once you have this database name, just click on create. Right, so you get this success message. Once you get this success message, just please click on go back. Great. So now that we are done creating our database, the next thing we are going to do here is to create our database user. Okay. So if you scroll down, we have database user and add new user. Okay. So on that part, we just have to add our database username. So I'm just going to add my database username. So I'm just going to call it DB user. Okay. And now, after you have entered the name of your database, the next thing you are going to do is to create a secured password for this particular database. Okay, so if user information have to be transferred between the user interface of your application and then the database, you have this secure password which will serve as kind of a connection string between your interface and that of your DB. Okay, so with this user, you want to create a password for this particular user. Okay, so if you already own or have a secure password or strong password that you can use to for this particular user, you can just paste that in this password area. If you don't, they have a password generator right here that you can just click and generate a password. Okay, so I'm going to just click on it, and then you can click on generate password until you have a password that you prefer. Okay, so you can just click on this, and then once you have a password that you prefer, you can just go ahead and use that password. Okay, so this is the password that I have here and that I'm going to use for this particular database user. And once you have selected your password, make sure you are copying this password. So just click on copy, or you can use this and then you can select copy, or just Command C or Control C if you are on Windows. Okay, once that is copied, check this box. Okay, it says I have copied this password in a safe place. Now this is very important. Wow, I think I cut my password there. Yeah, let me just copy this, and now check this box, and then it says I have copied this password in a safe place. Now what this means is that in the installation of your script or that process, you will need this password to be able to complete the installation. Okay, they will require your database user, that of the username and the password, in order to what complete the installation of the script. Okay, so this is a very important section, and then you need to have this password saved in a place that you can always have access to. Okay, so I'm going to check that, and once that is checked, you can just click on use password, and now what happens is that it automatically fills this password form inputs with that password that you just created. Okay, so once you are done with this, just click on create user. Now you get a success message here that says that your user was created. Okay. Now let's look at one very important part of the video where we have to keep that password that we just created into a safe place that we can always access. Okay. All right, so for me, I have a Word document open that I have named tutorials. Okay, so in this Word document, I'm just going to put in my password. So for the password, I'm just typing in here password, and I'm just going to paste my password. Okay, so this is where I'm saving my password. Okay, so once you are sure that your password has been saved at a place that you can always reference, let's head back to our cPanel account. Okay, so once you are here in your cPanel account, just click on go back. And the last part of creating this database is to connect this database user and that of the database name. Okay, so we want to connect the user and the database. Okay, so if you scroll down to the bottom, you see add user to a database. Okay, so now as you can see, the form inputs for user and database have been pre-filled because we have DB user and that of the DB name. Okay, so if you have multiple databases already created, you have to just use this to select the right database and that of the user that you want to associate with one another. Okay, so that's how we add a database to that of the user. Okay, so it says add user to database instead. Okay, once this is done, go ahead and click on add, and then you are routed to this page where you have to manage user privileges. Okay, so these are CRUD operations that you have to give as privileges to this particular user on the database. Okay, so if you go through them, you have create, we have delete, event, index, select, trigger, update, and all of this insert that you have as privileges to this particular database. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and allow all privileges. Okay, so if you want to allow certain privileges for this particular user, you can go ahead and then check those check boxes that you want to allow. Okay, but once you are done, click on once you are done allowing all privileges, just go ahead and click on make changes, and now you get a success message here. That means that everything was successful. Okay, so last part, let's copy this our database user and that of the database name, and then add this document to where we added our password. Okay, so I'm just going to push that down a bit, and I'm going to paste my database user and that of the database name. Okay, so eventually we'll reference this information when we are installing the script. Okay, so that's why I had us create our database so that when our script runs, this database will already be available, and then we can just use that password and then what? Install. Other than that, we will then be asked to return and create a database and continue the process. Okay. So yes, so that is it for creating the database. Let's just go ahead and then bring our files onto our cPanel account. All right, so at this point, after you have gone through the process of purchasing your own hosting and domain name, the next thing is your hosting provider will send you your cPanel account logins. Okay, so that will be communicated to you via email if you just use the method that I showed you with ordering through Makigo host. You will get your login details, okay, as well as the URL. Now if you don't have the URL, you can just visit your domain name slash cPanel, and that should open up your cPanel account, and then you can enter your login details and sign in. Okay, so right here I'm on the interface to log into my cPanel account, so I'll go ahead and click on login. And now this is an already existing domain and hosting that I have that I use for tutorials. Okay, so mine is learnwithdave.xyz. Yours could be whatever the name you want to give to your restaurant application. All right, so once you have logged in and created your database user, your database name, and you have associated that database with the user, the next thing we are going to do is to move our script files onto our hosting account. So I'm on learnwithdave.xyz. If we visit the domain name right now, it's just a blank domain name. There's nothing happening there. But once we bring in the code files, you will see that our application will be live. Okay, so now what we are going to do next is just navigate to your file manager, and under file manager we want to publish our code in our public underscore html file. Okay, so you can go ahead and click on public underscore html. Now in my directory, I've gotten rid of all the files that exist. You may have some files that is just for the SSL, but you can leave all of that intact, and all we are going to do is to upload the remainder of our script files. At this point, you should have gotten your script files ready. If you don't have the script files, just consider checking that out. There's a link in the description to the script file that you can purchase from Codecania, and then we'll continue with the upload. Okay, so on my desktop I have the Codecania food lab application that I got. So what you are going to do is first of all extract it. Okay, so I've extracted the zip file into this file that you see here. Okay, so when you open it, there are files. So we have documentations, files, and updates. So documentation gives you detailed information on how to go about the process of installing the script app. Okay, which is exactly what I'm going to walk you through, so you don't have anything to worry about. But you can take a look at it if you want to reference any of the material or the information that they share in this documentation. All right, so let's get back to our desktop, and right here on our desktop, the file that we are going to upload will be the files.zip. Now in my case, I have zipped this file. Now when you extract, it will be in this format. All you have to do is to compress the file or zip it if you are on Windows, and it will apply the same way. All right, so once we have our files ready, let's return back to our cPanel account. On your cPanel account, under the public underscore html directory, go ahead and click on upload, select file, navigate to wherever your files reside. Okay, so in my case is on my desktop. Okay, so I'm just going to navigate to this file right here and select the files.zip folder and click on open. Now the upload process will take a few seconds, so all you have to do is to wait for a few minutes or seconds for the upload to complete, depending on your internet speed. All right, so our upload is complete. As you can see, we have 100% green, and all you have to do is go ahead and click on go back to the public underscore html directory. Okay, so now we have all the files here in our public underscore html. The next thing we are going to do is to extract this file. So just select it and click on extract here. or you can select from the list of drop down here, extract, and then the extract process should complete should start, and then we'll go ahead and click on extract files. Now you just wait for a few seconds for the files to be extracted. All right, so once the extraction process completes, go ahead and close it. And now you can see you have two files, okay, the extracted files folder and still the zip folder. Okay, so at this point you can get rid of this because we don't really need it, and then we can delete it permanently from our cPanel account just to save space on our server. And now what we are going to do is to open this files folder, and these are the files that make up the script or the food lab application. Okay, now what we are going to do is to move these files from the files folder onto our public underscore HTML directory. So right now it is under public underscore HTML slash files. Okay, but we want our server to read it directly from the public underscore HTML directory. So what I'm going to do is open this app, go ahead and click on select all, and what we are going to do is we are going to move it outside of that files folder. So go ahead and click on move and remove the files directory. Okay, and now all we are left with is the public underscore HTML. Once we click on move, now our files have been moved onto our public underscore HTML directory. Okay, now this files folder is an empty folder, so you can also get rid of that if you want so that you don't get confused. So I'm going to delete that. Confirm, and now we don't have that files folder as well. Now that our files reside in our public underscore HTML folder or directory, what I'm going to do is to visit our domain and see what we have on our domain. So go ahead and click on your domain, and as you can see, we are redirected to the installer. Okay, and if you return to the public underscore HTML, let's go back right here onto our public underscore HTML. You see we have an installer or an install as part of the files. Okay, so this is what carries out the installation process of your script. Let's return to our email, or let's return to our installer window, and what we are going to do is go ahead and click on agree and next step. Okay, so we'll click on agree and move to the next step. Now right here we have some permission issues that they want us to review. Okay, so under core bootstrap cache, it is required that we have a 0.775 permission, but currently it is a 0.755 permission. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is how to enable all of these permissions so that our script can run successfully. So we are going to take them one after the other. Now this will not happen on every server. Okay, so for those of you who run into this issue, I'm just going to show you how you can update the permission status. Okay, so now we have core, bootstrap, and cache. So we are going to return to our cPanel account, and then we are going to change that. So maybe we can just copy this and then we can paste it on it. Okay, so we have core, and inside the core we have bootstrap. So let's go to bootstrap, and inside the bootstrap we have this cache folder. Okay, so that's what they want us to update the permission. So just go ahead and update that permission to 0.775 or whatever the permission that you will be updating for your application, and go ahead and click on save. Okay, now the next one we are going to do is core and storage, and then we have to also update that to 775. Okay, so let's return right here back onto the application, and let's go back right here, and inside core, I think, let me cross check that. So we have core and storage. So let's go back, and then we'll navigate to storage. So we'll go ahead and change permission, and then we are changing that of storage to 775. Okay, let's return right here again, and then we have core, storage, and app, and we have to update that. So let's go back here. We have core, let's go into core, and we have app. So we'll update the app permission, and then we'll save that as well. And now last but not the least, we have framework. So we have core, storage, framework, and then we have core, storage, and logs. Okay, so let's go right here, and we have framework. Let's update that. And then once we save, we also have logs. Okay, so we'll update that of logs and we'll save. So at this point, we have gone through updating permissions for the files that were required. Okay, so now let's check. All right, so now all our requirements have passed after we click on check. Okay, so requirement check pass, and the next thing is you can also view the details, okay, of all the permissions that were required. Okay, yes. So once this is done, go ahead and click on next step. Now on this window, now you can see here they request your website URL, which is automatically filled because you are doing the installation on your domain or on your hosting, which is connected to the domain name. And what they require of you is your database name, your database user, database host, which you can just leave at localhost, and your database password, as well as the admin credentials. Okay, now I went through the admin area as the restaurant manager or the administrator of the restaurant. So these are the login details that you are going to use to access that admin area to be able to customize the application for the needs of your users. Okay, now earlier in the video when we dealt with setting up the database and then that of the password, I mentioned that you just have to save this information in a place that you can access during the installation. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now is go ahead and paste in my database name, my database user, and that of the password, and then I'll also update my admin name, password, and then the email. Okay. All right, so at this point, I've updated all the information regarding my database. Okay, so all you have to do is to enter the right credentials with regards to your database name and the database password and the user. Okay, and make sure you are entering very strong admin credentials. Okay, this is something that no one should be able to use to log into your admin area and mess up your application. So make sure that you are entering very strong password. Mine is just for tutorials, so make sure you are entering the right password. Okay, so once your information have been fully filled, go ahead and click on install now. Once it is successful, you will see your system has been installed successfully. Okay, and then right here you can proceed to go to the website and just activate. Okay, so I'm just going to click so that we move on to the application that will be on our domain. So go ahead and click on go to the website and you can see our website loading. Now you can see the difference between our demo and that of this application. You can see that we don't have our restaurants, we don't have featured restaurant, latest restaurant, and our super deals. And this is because the application is new, your database is also new. So as the admin, you have to update. Okay, so you can put some dummy data as a user for the start, or whenever your users set up their accounts, you can go ahead and then set these things up, and that will be displayed on your web page. Okay, so this is the user interface once you are done. As you can see, it is now on my server, which is learnwithdave.xyz. Now the logo is still the same. We will learn how to update that on the admin dashboard so that you also have your own version of this application. You can update the colors and any other feature of the application that you need, including all the text. You can update all these links right here to meet your own standard, including your social media icons. Okay, so next we'll go through the admin dashboard and then I'll show you where exactly you should update for your application. Once our application is live, okay, next what we're going to look at is logging into your admin area and customizing the entire application based on your own preference. Okay, so to log into your admin area, all you have to do is on your domain name, just like the way you log into your cPanel account by just adding /cPanel, what we are going to do is to add /admin. Okay, and that will lead you into your admin login area. Okay, now right here you are going to use the details you use during the setup to log into your admin account. So right here, this is not my admin credentials, so I'm going to put the right one there. I think this is it, and I'll enter my password. Okay, so right here I successfully logged into my admin area. Now compared to the demo I showed you, there was a lot of active users and a lot of information on the dashboard. Okay, now because this is a completely new application, you can see that we don't have any users, we don't have verified users, total restaurant. So this is how you are going to start your application. Okay, so once you are set up, the next thing is marketing. You have to reach out to people who are likely to sign up to your account, and then this can be a source of side income. Okay, so once they process an order, you have your management charges, and then you can make payment to the restaurant, and then you have your commission or the charges that you charge based on the service that you offer. Okay, so right here on the dashboard, we don't have any information until our application has run for some time and has users. What we are going to do, you can go ahead and look at the locations. Okay, my internet is bad, so you can go ahead and look at your locations. Okay, so right here in my locations, you can go ahead and set up locations. Okay, so let's say we want a location like, let me just add this Accra, and then where is Accra? We have Accra, Ghana. Okay, yes, so you want to add a location to your application, you can go ahead and do that. And once you update, this location has now been added. Okay, so you can add different location based on where you live. Okay, so let's say we have a new location like Muhanga, Rwanda. Let's see, how do they spell that? Muhanga and Rwanda. So this is kind of another location that you can also add. So you can add as many locations as you want for your application. Okay, so this will be accessible to all your users. Now once you've added your location, this is just for the demo, so if you want, you can add so many locations: Lagos, Nigeria, Abuja, Nigeria, whatever you want to add to your location section. Okay, the next thing is for the foods. Okay, so this is an element that your restaurant owners will be assigning on the page. So once they update on their side, it will be updated here on your database. Okay, you can also have vouchers and offers that you want to add, so you can add an offer. So let's say you select one restaurant and you want to add a type of voucher, whether it's a percentage off that you are giving them, or then you can enter the discount amount, the minimum order, and then the voucher code that individuals can use to order and get some discount off the purchase. Okay, now also on your orders, you can see how many orders. Okay, you can see delivered orders, that's the number of orders that were fulfilled, and then you can see those orders that were cancelled. Okay, now most of these tabs are empty because our application is currently empty, we don't have any users. You also have active users, so you can see all the active users who own restaurants. You can have the users that you yourself banned from your application because maybe they carried out some unauthorized behavior and you don't want to have them on your platform anymore. Okay, so yes, you have access to all your users as well. So this is just data that you can use to kind of make decision regarding your application. Okay, you can also see the restaurants. Okay, so those restaurants that were created on your platform, you can have a list of all those restaurants. You can have all the banned restaurants. So those are restaurants that were created but you banned them. And then also a very important one is our KYC on verified. Okay, so this is the know your customer verification step, where your users will have to set up a number of parameters for as a confirmation to certain rules that govern the application and its use. Okay, yes, so this is a lot of information. You can have deposits, you have withdrawals that were done, you have support tickets. Okay, so when your users create a support ticket, maybe they want some assistance from you as the administrator, they will submit a support ticket and you have access to the support ticket and you can reply. Okay, so as you can see, there are tickets, responded tickets, like answered tickets, and all tickets as well. Okay, yes, so let's just go down. We have your user report, you have your restaurant report. If you include a newsletter, you will see all your newsletter subscriptions, and then you can export this or use the emails, and then you can use that for whatever marketing purposes that you want as the admin. One important section here is our system settings. Now this is where the customization of our application, as when it comes to the look, okay, of the application and whatever appears on the application is listed. So once you come to the admin area, the first thing you are going to see is your general settings. These are the basic settings that come into your application. Okay, so we have the title of the application, you have the color format right here. So let's say I update the title and I'm going to call it div food. Let's call it this, and let me submit the changes. All right, so that was successful. Let me go back to my page and let me refresh. And now you can see on this URL right here, it's now called day food, okay, instead of food lab. All right, so that's just an example. So you can also customize this text, this logo, and it will apply as just that. Okay, so you can change the color, you can change the currency that is showing. So you show currency text and currencies symbol. If you also want to show it differently, you can basically check all this. Okay, let's return to the general settings and let's go to system configurations. Now I said there are some of them that you can enable right here. So you can see we have user registration. So this is the this is the section that requires that your users be registered before they can make orders or something like that. So if you don't want that, you can basically disable it. Okay, and then any user can make a purchase. Now we have restaurant registration if you want to, and you can also have a force SSL. Now this is the one that requires your users to be able to visit the application on a secured URL. Okay, so you can see it written: the system will force a visitor that he or she must have to visit in a secured mode. Okay, otherwise the site will be loaded in a secured mode. All right, and then we also have them agreeing to your policy. So if you don't want users agreeing to your policy, you realize that in the sign up page they'll have to agree to your terms of service before they proceed with a sign up or a login. If you don't want to, you can disable that, and then you can force a secure password. This adds a certain layer of security to the password. And we have know your customer verification, so you can make this required. You have email verification, in which case once they are signed up, they receive an email asking them to verify their account. Yes, so there's push notification, language options, SMS notification. You set up an SMTP for your account, and then they'll use this as SMS notification. All right, let's get back to our system setting, and very importantly, you will need payment gateways. And right after you go to the payment gateway area, you will see that you have a list of payment gateway, including Stripe, PayPal, Flutterwaves, and a ton more that are here. Now based on your location, you'll be selecting the one that best fits your plan. Okay, so let's assume that you select Flutterwaves. All you have to do is on this disable, you click on it, and then you have confirmation alert: are you sure to disable this gateway? Okay, in which case you disable all payment gateways you don't want on your platform, and then you leave the others enabled. So as you can see, all these are enabled, so there are options for you to choose. So once you select a payment gateway, all you have to do is to click on edit, and then you add the payment credentials of that particular payment processing provider. Okay, so you add your public key, encryption key, secret key. So these are requirements for Flutterwaves. It will be different for PayPal and Paystack and all the other payment gateways that are available. Okay, so once you are done and you submit, that information will be added onto your system, and your users can use that to process payment. All right, now you can also add a manual payment method. Now if you want your users to have a manual payment method, so if you want, you can just enter this one. Let's say we call it bank transfer, and then your currency can be in a dollar, and then let's say the rate. Okay, so $1 is equals to $1, of course. But if you, let's say you call this a naira, okay, so you can say $1 equal to some naira. And then you can also have the minimum amount fixed charge. So per every processing, there should be a fixed charge on the processing, and the maximum amount that they can transfer, the percentage charge, and a description. Now the description should contain some instructions on how they can make the payment or how they can process this payment. Okay, now you can also use this method to add mobile money payment method. Okay, so here you can add your bank name, your account number, and the branch or something like that that you may want your users to have. And if it is the mobile money too, you can add your mobile money account number and all the details that they need. Okay, yeah, so that's it for payment gateways. Now, as you can see, I'm not adding information because this is a tutorial. Once you are setting up the account, you go through this step by step and customize. We have SEO configurations. Now, this helps your website rank on Google. So what you have to do is to enter keywords related to the kind of application that you are building. In this case, a food ordering restaurant application. So you enter, so as you can see, it's called Food Lab Restaurant Listing Food Delivery System. So anytime someone makes a search on Google regarding one of these topics, your website is likely to rank, not necessarily rank on top, but it's likely to be listed as part of the website or the search results that will appear on any web browser. Okay, so you can add your meta description, your social titles. Now anytime someone copies your URL and pastes it on social media, this should be the text that will appear, and then this will be the description that will appear as well. Okay, and then you can update your SEO image, and from this default one, all you have to click and select the image that you need. Okay, and once you update, it will update on the main page, so don't really have to worry. Now if you go to manage pages, okay, so we have the home, we have blog, and then we have contact, about, and promotions. Okay, so for any of the page, if you click on edit, you will then come to all the individual sections that make up the page. So assuming you don't want this feature right here, our restaurant, our featured restaurant, on your home page, once you're on the home page in the admin area, you can go ahead and delete that. Okay, so let me look for one and delete. So on the home page, let's say I don't want to have blog sections on my home page. Okay, and then let me go ahead and update. All right, so when I come back to my home page, let's see if we have blog, latest blog. Okay, and let me refresh, and now that is gone. Okay, so you make the update based on your own preference. So once you want to remove a certain section from a page, you can go ahead and do that. All right, and once we are done, in case you want to go ahead and click on blog page, and then you can also edit the information that is there. Okay, so for each particular blog, you can go ahead and click on edit. You can change the content that make up that blog in case you want to update that information, or if you want to actively blog on the application, you can also do that. All right, yes, so that is it. Let's go. If you want to also add a new block, you can do that. And these are other sections that you can update. So you have your footer section, you can update the information right there. And now let me go back to system settings, and the next thing is your social login settings. So this social login credential works with your login page. Okay, so what you want to do is sign up with Google authentication, Facebook authentication, and then you configure this. That's how come when your users want to log in using any of this platform, they can go ahead and do that. Okay, and then they can easily log in without having to go through the route of entering password, username, and all of that. Okay, so yeah, that is it for social logins. We have maintenance mode. If you are doing any work on your application and you want to display maintenance mode, so let's just say I come in here and I want to enable that my application is on maintenance mode, and I go ahead and submit. Okay, once the success message comes and I come right here on the page and refresh. Okay, so anyone who visits your application will be directed with this window right here. Okay, so this is the window they will see. The site is under maintenance. We are just turning up a few things, and we apologize for the inconvenience. And you are at liberty to customize the text in here. Let me go back. You can customize this text. Okay, and then they'll have, I'm just going to disable that and submit, and then we can refresh, and you can see that our application is loading in real time. Okay, let's come back right here and go to our settings. Okay, so you have extensions. This is another one you can work on. Okay, so we have Google Analytics, we have Google Recapture, talk to, which is live chat. Okay, so the demo, you realize that we had talk to enabled, where users can communicate with you live on the application. So you can configure talk to, add your app key, and that would work for you. Okay, and another way is you can go through the route of going to your database and then looking for this particular extension and updating the talk to, in case this area of configuration doesn't work. Okay, and let's go back to settings, and let's see, let's just go back to custom css. Okay, so these are the css that make up the applications in terms of the look. Okay, if you understand css, you can go ahead and go through this and work with. Now with ai, you can even let ai kind of help you understand what this css does, so that you can also update it. Okay, so you can go ahead and work through this and then update your css if you want to. So this is available to you. Once you finish and submit, it will automatically update on the page. Okay, we are not going to go into details into some of these, but once you make up your mind to build something like this, the customization process will take step by step, because you want to make sure that you are putting in your effort to customize the application to look exactly the way you want. Okay, now this is the area you can update your logo and your favicon. Okay, this is right here. So your favicon is this icon right here, and then this is your logo right here. Okay, once you update, it should also update. I don't have an already existing logo design, I would have updated it. And then you also have notification settings that you can use. Okay, so we have your email template, you have your sms template, push notification template, and you can go through the settings of this particular one. Okay, for this application, php mail works well, but if you want to look into any of the smtp, send grid api or mailjet api, okay, you have to create an account with this, and then you can set them up with your app key, and then you should be good to go. Okay, so you also have um, sms settings. Okay, and we have the withdrawal methods. So this is a method where your users will use to withdraw. Okay, so you can also add a new withdrawal method, the name, the currency, the conversion rate, the percentage charge, and then you add withdrawal instructions on how your users can perform withdrawals. Let's get back right here. We have gone through the manage pages, but let's go into manage your front end. Okay, that is managing the user interface that make up the application. So we have the contact, we have the blog section. So these are individual ones. Once you click on the settings icon, you can basically update the icons to whichever one you want. Okay, let's go back right here, and I think we are basically done. We have your know your customer verification settings. We have your languages. You can set up multiple languages. If you go to languages, you can add new language. Okay, so right here we have English. So if you want to have French, you can go ahead and add French and add the code. Okay, with a quick Google search, you should be able to find information on how you can add the English code, we can add the French code, you can add whatever language you choose is code. We have your policy page. Okay, now this policy, you have the url, rules, terms of service, and privacy policies. So you need to set and write individual policies. Okay, so if you open this app, you realize that we have payment policies and payment that's policy, that's be the slack, and then you can come here and paste your particular policy regarding that particular one that you are setting up. Okay, and once you're done, you can go ahead and click on submit. Now if there's one that is not listed here that you wish to add, you can go ahead and click on add new, and then you add the title of that policy, you add a description of that policy and submit, and it will automatically be added to the list of policies that you formally created. Okay, yes, so that is it when it comes to customizing the application. For the rest of it, you can basically read through them and go ahead and customize your application. Okay, now once you are done customizing the application, majority of the work will now depend on marketing. Okay, so you how to get this application out for users to be able to sign up and create an account, and how to also get it out so that people depending on the locations of your restaurant, that will be your target marketing area, and then your users can purchase from this restaurant, and as the administrator you'll be able to process the payment and make a commission or maybe withdrawal charges from this particular platform. Okay, so once your page is set up, okay, now your users can go ahead and create an account. Okay, so once they click on register for an account, that is for regular users who are going to be able to purchase some of the services that your restaurants will set up. So all they can do here is to add their first name, last name, and go ahead and create an account. Okay, once their account is created, they'll have a dashboard just like that. I'm not going to create one. And once, if they already have an existing account, they can go ahead and log in. Okay, now they still have the option of using these authentication providers. However, if you don't have that set up for Google, LinkedIn, and that of Facebook, you can go ahead and disable them. So if you return to your settings on your dashboard right here and go to your general settings or your system settings, and you go to social logins, they are right here. Now we have Google, Facebook, and that of LinkedIn. You can go ahead and disable them. So let's just do that. All right, so once they are disabled, let's return to our page and let me refresh. And now we have successfully disabled the option of signing in or signing up for an account with the authentication providers such as Google, LinkedIn, and that of Facebook. Okay, so once you sign up for an account, you have your users who see their homepage. All right, now let's look at how restaurants can have an account. Now, for a restaurant to have an account, they need to first of all add on your URL/restaurant. Okay, let's see that. And then they'll be rerouted to this page to create an account. So you can see here register. Once they click on register, they'll add their name, last name, restaurant name, the location, and this will also create a dashboard like we looked at earlier in the video, where they can also manage their inventory of food items that they add to the platform. Okay, however, this will be very inconvenient because if a user visits your application right now, they will not know where to click and sign in as a restaurant. Okay, so what I'm going to do as a solution to this is go back to your dashboard right here. This is our dashboard, and let's go to manage our front end. Under manage front end, nope, let's go back. Right, okay, so once you are in the system settings, navigate to manage pages. Okay, and under manage pages, you can see that we have the navigation bar, the list of URL that you see here on your page. All right, so back here on our admin area, what I'm going to do is to add a URL just like we have on the navigation. So we'll click on add new, and let's give it a name. So let's say sign up as restaurant. Okay, and here what we are going to do is we want to put that restaurant word. So what this does is it takes your domain and add a slash restaurant. That will be the slash. Okay, so we have sign up as a restaurant, and it has on your slash, just put in that of restaurant. Okay, so you can even reverse this. Okay, that would be much better. So we have restaurant sign up. So I'm going to rewrite this, and let's call it restaurant sign up. Okay, and once you submit and the changes are saved, now on your home page, let me go ahead and refresh and see what we have. All right, so now we have restaurant sign up. Okay, so once a user clicks on this restaurant sign up, you can see they are rerouted to the login page. Now if they don't have an existing account, they can go ahead and click on register, and after registration they will have an account as a restaurant owner. Okay, so that is how your users can get or sign up for an account. Okay, so we've added the option of signing up as a restaurant on the list of the menus. Okay, so your users immediately will see these very bright login colors or register colors, and then your restaurants too can use this to sign up for an account. Okay, yes, so that is it. That was just a quick update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and if there's anything you need assistance on, let me know so that I can do that. And do enjoy the rest of your day.